Welcome back to Doc's Hot Shop and Forge. Today we're going to continue with the treadle hammer build. As you'll recall in the last video in the series, I was working on the hammer strongback. Today we'll be covering the making of the pivot pins, both the ones in the actual strongback and the ram, but also the ones that are in the ram parallel arms. We will also, rather excitingly, be doing a trial fit up of all the hammer parts that we've made so far on the hammer, on the base plate. With regards to the machining of the pivot pins, I won't cover this in detail. Simply put, it's hugely repetitive and quite boring. So if you've got any specific questions, put them down below. I'm happy to answer them in regards to machining techniques, why I did what I did, would I do things differently, and so on. And yes, before you ask, I did build the lathe. It's based on the Gingery design. It's cast in bronze, stainless steel ways, and for a light duty lathe, it's done some remarkably heavy duty work. So, let's get started. So we're turning up the first of the pivot pins. Sorry, I've already started, unfortunately. Alright, 1.5 millimeters to go. Alright, 0.5 millimeter to go. Pull this sucker out. Good. Right now I'm defining the length so that I'll be marking out all 8 to the same length. So this bit here between the line I've just scored and the end is excess, it's waste. This machine is not heavy enough to run a parting off bar tool, so I will just machine it off and then I will cut the spigot on the end. And then these will be ready to fit and we can do a trial fit up, see how the ram and the strongback line up. Millimeters. So let's make that spigot. Alright. .3. Alright, let's find something we can use as a template. Okay, it's still a bit big. Okay, excellent. Alright, so that's the first one done. 7 more to go. First thump. That's a scary amount of mass. That is scary. That is scary. Sorry, it's raining at the moment. But we're going to do a first trial fit up of the anvil and the back post onto the plate. There we go. Well, it's on its base plate. And that end needs tightening up. But really, it just needs the treadle and the return spring. And some dies. Some dies would be good. Some dies would definitely be good. For those wondering about parallel tracking, this is what it's about. You always get a perpendicular blow. So the dies, regardless of stock thickness, will always give you the desired result. There won't be any little tilt or tip that you get from the radial motion of a sledgehammer on a pivot. Is it worth the extra engineering? Honestly, unless you're willing to go to the extent of building a tyre hammer, this is probably a good intermediate. There are plenty of designs out there. I struggled to get one that I could download to Australia, so I've had to go at my own. But the sledgehammer head is now in place. I have to drill the securing bolt hole, make the treadle and the return spring, and then fill the two hollow elements with sand to cut down on this, which is quite distressingly loud. Now it is sitting on a rubber mat, so I know that part of the ring is not coming out of that, but I bet I'm getting a fair bit out of that. Now there is a little bit of side to side. I'm trying to figure out where it's coming from. I suspect it's one of these because I haven't tightened everything up properly yet. But that's some decent progress for now. Well, it's finally starting to look like a hammer. The ram as it stands weighs 36 pounds. That's without ballast or dies. Now I'm going to fill the ram with sand. That's probably going to add about 18 pounds to the weight of the hammer ram. So with dies, it'll probably bring it up to around about the 60 pound mark. Which, for something that I was planning on building around a 12 lb sledgehammer, has snowballed quite dramatically. The next parts to make are the treadle and the return spring assemblies. I may also put a guide for the parallel arms just to keep that slight wobble that I can induce to a minimum. I'm quite decided on that yet, and it would require lining those guides with some sort of bearing material, be that nylon or Teflon or something. I'll have to figure something out. So, it won't be long until we have first smash. I'm thinking I should paint this thing green now. If you would like to support the channel, I now have a Patreon. Any donation will be just that, a donation. The content will always be free. The Patreon link is in the video description down below. As always, if you've enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up. Feel free to share on social media. And if you haven't already subscribed, I would love it if you did subscribe. Hit the little bell icon for notifications. As we've hit the 500 subscriber mark, we are running a giveaway till the end of the month. So that's end of January 2020. The link for that video is down there. So get out to your shop, have fun, but do stay safe, and I'll catch you for the next one.